Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm hanging in there. Today it's been 2 weeks since Maple Island was released, and I kind of want to talk about the reactions. So the week that it was released, I got a couple of reviews, and they were glowing. Um, People said the writing was magic. It's the best work that I've done. It was all really, really nice things to hear. It was very kind. I've also gotten a couple of like one thumbs up, kind of like solid or like good job, which are pretty normal. Like when you write a book, especially from like friends and family, they're kind of like, "Hey, you did it," So I've gotten a couple of those reviews too. Twin Cities Con weekend, I did something called Writing After Dark. It was a panel where we all read from our dirty books, and I read from Maple Island, and honestly, it killed. Like I felt like it went really well, so well that like for example, the next morning, the first person at my table is a dude. He walks up, and he says, "Hey," he's like, "Just so you know, like this," pointing to Maple Island. He's like, "This is not my thing." But the writing was so good. And he was very complimentary. He bought a copy of the book. And so that was another one of those moments where, I felt like, okay, there are people who love this. But that's not the point of this video. Yesterday, I went onto Goodreads and I saw that someone had given Maple Island 1 star. That's 1 star. I don't know if you're familiar with the 5 star system, but I do believe that 1 star is the lowest amount of stars until you get to 0 stars. And you may be thinking, why are you laughing? Your only review on Goodreads is 1 star for your brand new book. That's horrifying, but here's the thing. Since before Maple Island came out, I knew that there were going to be people who hated it. I knew it. I wanted to talk about some uncomfortable things, and so in order to do that, I had to write some uncomfortable things. And in chapter 1 of Maple Island, I very much so try to earn your trust. And then I very immediately spend that trust. If you know what I mean. If you've read the book, I think you do know what I mean. And so I, I could I could see people who maybe I didn't earn their trust, or maybe I did, but I didn't earn enough of it, and I spent too much of it. And if that's the case, I totally get it. But I did know that there were going to be people who hate this book. Also, my favorite, like the pieces of art that speak to me the most, are those things that people either love it or hate it. And in fact, when I was getting the kind of mid reviews for Maple Island, I was like, oh no, maybe I didn't do the thing that I thought I was going to do. But when I got that 1 star review, I went, oh, okay, I did do the thing that I thought I was going to do. You may be wondering, so why did this person give it 1 star? I don't know. They just hit me with 1 star and then they moved on with their lives. And I don't think it was a bot account. If you go to their account, there's like a profile picture and they've, rated other books. I think their like average rating is like a 4 or something. And so they went out of their way to rate Maple Island 1 star. And you know what? Thank you. So thank you to that person for just confirming to me that those people are going to be out there and it's going to happen and I'm going to be okay because I know there are people who adore this book. I adore this book. I know it's not a bad book. It's more than 1 star. Come on. And I'd love if that person, if they're watching this, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because this is a very subjective area. But yeah, I'd love to hear why it only ranked 1 star and why you didn't want to talk about it. This video, I also want to go a little bit further and I want to talk about self-selection. And I talk about self-selection a lot. And if you're wondering, well, what is that? To give you like a real basic example, let's say you were born a tall person, right? If you're born tall, you might self-select to play basketball, right? It just makes sense to you. Or like say you're a person who craves power. You might decide to become a politician or a cop. And these are not the only reasons why somebody chooses that job, but that is definitely a reason why some people self-select to be these things. How does self-selection apply to the internet? Uh, the people who comment on things, they are a specific type of person. They are the kind of person who comments on things on the internet. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here is the kind of people who leave reviews on the internet. I think a lot of us read reviews and not a lot of us leave them, especially when we have a good experience. And that is a bummer. And I think that the world would be better if more of us self-selected because we had a good experience to go out there and tell people about it. I have worked in a restaurant for a long time, a couple of decades. I know I look so young, but but I feel like I'm pretty good at my job, not to toot my own horn. And the thing is, I have a lot of people who tell me to my face that I am good at my job. I was just there last night and I had a lot of very complimentary guests. And they self-select to tell me this to my face because that's actually a very like kind human thing to do. Just to tell somebody, hey, you're good at what you do, or hey, you made our day, right? Which is just an awesome thing to hear. But rarely do those people go home and then, open up their laptop or their phone and write a review that says as much. Meanwhile, the people who have awful experiences, or I should say relatively awful, the people who go out and go, oh, well, this was not what I expected, or blah, 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 blah. Most negative reviews on the internet, if you read them closely enough, you can see that it's more of a problem with the reviewer than the thing. Those people are more than happy to go home and become keyboard warriors. And a lot of those people don't say things to your face. They just go home and they write about them on the internet. So what I'm getting at is we should self-select more to spread the positive things that happen in our lives. And how does this relate to Maple Island and my 1-star review? If you loved Maple Island, maybe you should go to Goodreads or go to Amazon and just tell everyone how much you loved it. And honestly, when I say that, I mean like a sentence or two. I'm not asking for any kind of labor from you. If anything, like if you loved it and it affected you in a way that it was positive and you're still thinking about it, don't you want other people to potentially have that experience too? And so this is just me just asking, not even asking, just maybe making you think about what self-selection is and why we self-select to do certain things in our lives and why. And again, to that person who left me 1 star, thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Thank you for selecting yourself. And thanks for inspiring this video today. I will be at Gary's tomorrow morning, my job, but I'm not going to be doing my job. I'm going to be selling books. And so if you want to come see me, if you want to come yell at me about how much you hate Maple Island, I'd love to hear it. You can also tell me if you loved it. So I will be there tomorrow. It goes from 10 to 2. It's usually pretty busy. So yeah, just do your best. I will be at a table with all of my books. It's the holiday season. If you want to buy any copies of anything for anyone, I will sign them all. We can have lovely conversations. Yeah, I'll see you soon.